Hi everyone, we know that it's a very pressurized time of year and we thought it's a good idea to do a video on time management. So I think the person that's a real time management guru was Stephen Covey when I came up with that beginning with the end in mind concept. But if you read a little bit further in his book, what is it called? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, you realize it's really about listing what is important and what is urgent in your day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year basis. So once you've done that and you've got a good idea of what you actually do and you start putting it in that graph, I'm going to share a picture of that graph. You can then take that information and split it under these 4 headings, and I want to talk about that. That is the 4 Ds. And Jack Canfield and a few other guys wrote a book called The Power of Focus, and this is where I got hold of this concept. So the first heading is, so when you receive an email or something on your desk, you ask yourself this question: do I put it under do, defer, delegate, or delete? So I've got a really bad habit, or maybe it's a good habit, of when I look at my emails, I have my finger on the delete button. Because the reality is we get so much information that's got nothing to do with us and everything to do with the other person, and it's not really relevant for us. So things that you delete is really your time wasters, and it's clutter. It is subscription requests, or it is information that's not really meant for you, and things that you actually should be declining or get rid of as soon as possible. So when you sit down and you do look at your emails, make sure that you take a time that's not your best time of the day. So this should be when your energy is a little bit low. My energy usually dips around 2 o'clock, and that's a good time for me. If I need to look at emails, I look at emails then. If you have to, keep your emails open the whole day because of responsiveness and that sort of need. Make sure that you do not get distracted by it. So give yourself slots where you really focus on the emails and you can still be responsive. So the first block that you want to look at is delete. Then if an item comes in and you realize, I have to do this. This is for me. I read years and years ago, I read something that says, only touch every piece of paper that lands on your desk once. And the principle behind it is, if you've got to do something with that thing, do it once, do it then. So if it is that you need to attach a document and reply to an email, or that you need to make an appointment, so that is your urgent and important items. And a lot of the stuff that we do often fall in that category. But if you end up not spending your time on the defer block, which is the not important but urgent things, you'll end up living in that space and you'll be completely overwhelmed. And this is where you only feel like you're putting out fires. So I strongly want to advise that you also think about your defer block. Now, the defer block means sometimes it's things that are actually meant for somebody else. So it's actually meant for a colleague and you can defer it. Fair enough. But the defer block is actually meant for things that are important, like doing proper planning, thinking about creative ideas that you can do differently, having strategic sessions, having strategic conversations, but it's not urgent, but it's critical for the success of the business, critical for your role. And you've got to literally plot time in your diary on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, yearly basis, to make sure that you end up doing this block. This is a very tricky block, and I think it's one of those blocks that people tend to forget about, and then you end up staying in the do block, which is you've got to do everything for everybody, which is nonsense. Which brings me to the last block, which is the delegating block. The delegating block says that this is actually not meant for you, okay? So it might be urgent, but it's not important for you, all right? So let's have a look at it. It is interruptions, it's meetings that you don't actually need to sit in, that one of your colleagues should be, or one of the people that report into you should be sitting in, and you can delegate it to them. It's certain emails that you should not be responding to, that you maybe just copy it into. So it's really tasks that are not for you. If you struggle to figure out what should be part of your delegating block, I would suggest that you go on and you look at everything that you are doing on a daily basis, and you ask yourself this question: do I honestly have to do this? Is there nobody else that could do this for me? Because the moment you ask that question, you're allowing somebody else to step up, to really get better at what they're doing, and you're allowing yourself to get capacity to do the deferred things, the not so urgent but critical and actually quite important things. And that's where you want to live. This is where you really want to spend your time. I hope that has been helpful, and I'd love responses and questions and comments on this if you don't mind. Let us know what you think. Thank you. Bye.